So the first website we're going to look at today is called Kahoot. Kahoot is a multiple choice game in which the questions and the answer choices are projected onto a whiteboard or smartboard or something, and then the students have their individual devices and they are looking at the answer choices as well. So the student would look up at the board to read the question, to read the answer choices, then they enter their choice on their device. Once all students have answered the question or the time for that particular question has expired, then the correct answer is revealed. On the student device, it'll tell them whether they got it right or they got it wrong, and then it'll also tell them how many points they may have earned and what place they're in the competition. What's projected up on the whiteboard is typically a bar graph in which all of the answer choices are listed, and it will show how many students answered each of the answer choices, as well as what the correct one was. And so this does give immediate feedback to the student. It also gives quick feedback to the teacher as to what misconceptions may be out there. At this point, what's being projected does not tell who missed it, but that is recorded in a report that you can download after the game is over, so that you can pinpoint which students might need additional help clearing up some misconceptions. It has been my experience that students really do enjoy Kahoot. It is a great tool to use for not only reviewing, but also for practicing and even for pre-tests. I've used this before as a pre-test and have gotten some great use out of it that way. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get yourself an account. So you're going to go to their website, which is kahoot.com. It is free, but you will need to sign up. And when you sign up, you need to make sure that you click on as a teacher, because that's the way that you get it for free. Okay? And then finish creating your account. And when you get that, you should come to your home screen. Now, this home screen might look a little bit different from time to time, but all of the basic functions should still be here. The first and most important one is the search menu, or the search bar. This is where you would go type in what you're looking for and see what other people have put out there for you to use. You can also create a new Kahoot from scratch if you're inclined to do so by clicking on the new Kahoot button over here. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to find a Kahoot about addition facts. So I would type in addition facts on that, and it's going to give me lots of different options. The default sort by is by most relevant, according to what you typed in for your search, but you can also have it resorted by most times played or highest quality. Okay? There are other filters that you can apply to your search as well. You have different subject areas that you can use. You have different grade levels, and then you also have additional features, or additional filters rather, excuse me, where you can sort by ones that are just created by teachers, created specifically just for school. There are different types of Kahoots. Traditionally, we use it as a quiz. That's the one that's most common, but they have also introduced the jumble, and we'll talk a little bit about what a jumble is later. And then there might be other ones in other languages if you needed that as well, but these are different search filters that you could use as well. Okay, so the basic search parameters, when you type something in, this is what comes up. It's going to give you the title of it. It's going to tell you how long ago it was created, how many times it's been played, and down here it'll tell you how many questions there are. All right. So this one has 25 questions. This one has 50 questions. This one only has 10. So we're going to use this one as our example. So let's say that I wanted to see exactly what it was like. I would click on it. It's going to open it up into the editing menu. Okay, so this tells me what the questions are. It tells me how long the students have to answer it. And if I want to see what their answer choices are, then I click on where it says show answers, and I can see, okay, for this question, these are the 4 choices, and the correct answer is 15. Okay? So if I like this Kahoot exactly the way it is, then I can just go ahead and click on play. Okay? Or I could add it to my favorites by clicking here. Okay? And then that would bookmark it. Now, if I wanted to change anything about it, let's say that, okay, I like the questions, but 5 seconds is not long enough for my students. I need to give them more time. Then you are going to go over here to this menu, click on this, and click on duplicate. Duplicate will give you the option of saving a duplicate copy of it in which now you can edit it without changing the original one. Okay, so it will put it under the menu of My Kahoots, and if I want to change something about it, I click on Continue Editing. This is the question editor page, excuse me, and this is where you can actually edit the individual questions. So from here, you can change the time limit anywhere from 5 seconds up to 120 seconds. And you can also change the individual question. So let's say for this particular question, I wanted to change it from 4 answer choices to 2 answer choices. I wanted to make it a little bit easier. So minimum is 2 answer choices. So I would take out the ones that I don't want. And I'm going to have to change one of these to the correct answer because 9 plus 6 is 15. And then I would select what the correct answer is, change that. Okay, so now when my students see this, they're only going to see 2 answer choices, and with 15 being the correct one. So when I'm done editing the question, I click on Next, brings me back to the editing page. I can add additional questions. If I scroll through here and I see a question I don't particularly care for, let's say I wanted to get rid of this one, um, I could delete the question, and then when you're done editing, you're going to click on Save up at the top. Right? If you're doing this ahead of time and you don't plan on actually playing it right away, then you would just click on I'm done, um, and that will save it under your account from My Kahoot. So that way you don't have to ever go searching for it again. So let's say you did this the night before, you want to play it the next day. So when you sign back into your account the next day, here's your home screen again, and you would just click on My Kahoots, and you can see the duplicate of the edition one that you found is right there, and then you would just have to click on Play in order to play it with your class. Right? Okay, when you click on play, you're going to see the screen that I'm outlining here, the one that's in purple on the left side of the screen. And you're going to have 2 choices from this point. You're either going to be able to do it as a classic Kahoot, where every student is playing on their own, or as a team Kahoot, where they have one device that's being shared and they come up with an answer as a team. There is some additional time built in for them to talk it over as a team before they have to answer the question. Okay. You also have different game options based on how you want it to be presented in your classroom. You can turn on or off any of these options. For example, the answer streak bonus. If you leave it on, it's going to give the students bonus points for the number of correct answers they get in a row. If you turn it off, obviously that bonus isn't going to be there. So you can look at where it says view details or hide details to get more information as to what will or what some of the options are for your class for this particular Kahoot. Now, this over here, what I have done is clicked on preview so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like on your screen and then also what the children are going to see. Now, they're not going to obviously have phones. They're going to have laptops or iPads rather, but it's the same premise. So if you were to click on preview on your from your menu, then this is the screen that comes up. So classic, okay, you're going to get a code. Okay, this is what's projected up on the board, everything from the left-hand side of the screen. So the students either need to go to the app or they need to go to this website, kahoot.it. Okay? and they're going to see this screen over here, and they're going to have to type in this game pin. So 7217490 and click enter. When they do, they're going to ask to type in their nickname. So then you would just type in something, they would type in their name and enter, and it'll warn them about, typing in things that are school appropriate or inappropriate. It'll tell you how many players that they are currently logged in and waiting, and then once you get your whole class in, then you would click on where it says start. Okay, so again, the left-hand side of this screen is what's being projected, and this is what the students would see. So the question is 9 plus 6. My answer, time was up. Okay, I forgot to set the time, give them more time. So when you're ready, then you click on next. Okay, I got no points for that one because I didn't answer it. Okay, so 5 plus 8 is my question. I know my answer is 13. 13 is blue, so I would click on that, and I got it correct. Got an answer streak of 1, and I got 685 points. Right? Once you can see this is what's being projected. All right. When you're ready to go on as the teacher, you click on next. It'll show the scoreboard, and then it'll give the next question. So this one is 13. So that's red. I would click on the red. Right? Gives me an answer streak. Okay? It tells me what my score is. Right? How many questions we're on out of how many there are, what the pin number was in case I accidentally get logged out. Okay? So this is basically what it looks like to play a Kahoot. Again, this is what's being projected and what's on your screen as the teacher. This is what is on the student device, what they see. All right. And then you would just go on through all of the questions. Once it's over, you can click on End Game, and you'll get a podium that says, who scored what place. You can give out rewards if that's your choice. Some people have given out candy for the top 3 or 5 players. Again, this is on your screen here, the left side. You would click on Get Results, and then you can download those results. That gives individual, like what student answered for each of the questions, so you can get pinpoint down to where any misconceptions could actually be. Okay. In the next video, I'm going to go over how to create a Kahoot from scratch, as well as what the different types are, whether versus quiz versus the jumble mode. Okay.